Did you know that while D.B. Cooper vanished without a trace, another man pulled off the exact same heist just months later and escaped with $500,000? In April 1972, Richard Floyd McCoy boarded United Airlines Flight 855 in Denver. He was a Vietnam veteran and expert paratrooper who had studied Cooper's methods obsessively. McCoy chose the same aircraft type and made identical demands: a briefcase, 4 parachutes, and cash. But unlike Cooper's $200,000, McCoy demanded $500,000. During the flight, he remained completely calm, politely directing the crew while passengers had no idea what was happening. When the plane reached Utah, McCoy jumped into the night and landed safely in a remote canyon. Here's the twist. While Cooper left no physical evidence, McCoy made one fatal mistake. He left fingerprints on the hijack note. Within days, FBI agents were at his door. The copycat success became his downfall. McCoy was arrested, convicted, but the story wasn't over. 2 years later, he escaped from federal prison. The student had learned too well from his mysterious teacher. Did you know that Jackie Chan's father was actually a deadly Chinese spy who lived a double life for decades? Charles Chan seemed like an ordinary cook working at the French embassy in Hong Kong during the 1950s. His son Jackie grew up thinking his father was just a simple restaurant worker who moved from job to job. But Charles was secretly gathering intelligence for the Chinese nationalist government, passing coded messages and tracking communist movements. He even worked with the Australian Security Intelligence Organization, feeding them information about enemy agents operating across Southeast Asia. For years, he dodged communist assassins who suspected his true identity, once barely escaping a hotel room minutes before armed men arrived. Charles maintained perfect cover, cooking meals by day while photographing classified documents by night. When Jackie finally discovered the truth decades later, he was stunned. The man who raised him had lived in constant danger, a world away from Jackie's comedic movie stunts. His father's real life was deadlier than any action film Jackie ever made. Did you know that America's 7th largest company once burned evidence in parking lot trash cans like common criminals? Enron was supposed to be the future of American business, worth over $70 billion at its peak. But in December 2001, everything fell apart when FBI agents arrived at their Houston headquarters. What they found was chaos. Executives Jeffrey Skilling and Andrew Fastow had created fake shell companies to hide billions in debt from investors. When the truth started coming out, panic set in. Arthur Anderson accountants worked around the clock, feeding tons of documents into industrial shredders. But as federal investigators closed in, there wasn't enough time. Desperate Enron employees grabbed sensitive files and ran to the parking lots. They stuffed papers into metal trash cans and set them on fire, right there in broad daylight. White-collar executives in expensive suits, frantically burning evidence like street criminals. The smoke could be seen for blocks as America's energy giant tried to erase the biggest corporate fraud in history. Did you know that in 1997, a bank robber actually fired a military rocket launcher at an armored truck in broad daylight? It was just another Tuesday morning in Los Angeles when a Brinks armored car pulled up to the Wells Fargo branch on Wilshire Boulevard. The same routine they'd done hundreds of times before. But across the street, a man crouched behind a parked car, holding an RPG-7 rocket launcher. For months he'd planned this attack, buying military weapons from corrupt arms dealers who sold surplus gear. At exactly 10:30 a.m., as the guards loaded cash into the truck, he pulled the trigger. The rocket screamed across the street and slammed into the vehicle's rear doors. The explosion was deafening, completely destroying the back of the armored truck and shattering windows for blocks. Miraculously, the driver survived, thrown forward by the blast but alive. Within minutes, every police unit in the city descended on the scene. The robber was caught still holding the empty launcher, stunned by his own escalation. A simple bank job had become urban warfare in suburban America. Did you know that for 15 years, families brought their children to sit on the lap of an active serial killer? Bruce MacArthur worked as a department store Santa Claus in Toronto, smiling for thousands of Christmas photos. Parents watched their kids whisper wishes into his ear, never knowing his dark secret. By day, he trimmed hedges and planted flowers as a trusted landscaper across the city. But MacArthur was hunting men from Toronto's gay village, luring them to brutal deaths. He used his landscaping business as the perfect cover, burying dismembered bodies in his clients' gardens. Families barbecued and played just feet above hidden remains. In 2018, police found body parts stuffed in large planters at properties he maintained. Then came the horrifying realization that shook investigators to their core. This man had held countless children, posed for family memories, all while being a methodical killer. 8 victims were eventually discovered, buried across the city in suburban backyards. The symbol of Christmas joy had become Toronto's most disturbing nightmare. Did you know that 2 security guards may have been paid to let thieves steal $500 million worth of art? The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston housed priceless masterpieces, including works by Vermeer and Rembrandt. On March 18, 1990, at exactly 1:24 in the morning, 2 men dressed as police officers knocked on the museum's door. The guards let them in without question, claiming there was a disturbance call. For the next 81 minutes, the fake officers moved through the galleries with surgical precision. They knew exactly which 13 pieces to steal, ignoring even more valuable works nearby. When investigators arrived, they found both guards bound with duct tape in the basement. But the physical evidence told a different story. The restraints were loose, there were no signs of struggle, and security footage mysteriously disappeared. 34 years later, none of the stolen art has been recovered. It remains the largest unsolved art theft in history. The guards' true involvement remains one of the art world's greatest mysteries.